my phone today. We've been having a lot of problems with the computer because it overheats and then it turns off the live whenever it wants. So we're gonna be doing this update on the phone. We're gonna let people load in. This is gonna be the first update on the ceasefire phone call that the president of the Russian Federation had with the president of the United States, Donald Trump, and Vladimir Putin. It is confirmed that they did have a call. And I'm going to be reading some news articles from that call from inside of Russia so you can get the perspective from inside of Russia. I'm doing this from the phone, so I will be doing this with my computer and the phone here. Usually what we used to do is put up the article on the screen, but I'm going to read it this time. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. Please comment if you can hear and see me, all right? Thank you so much, Eric, for joining the crew. Feel free now. The new emoji has been added. It's called the Zelensky Goblin. Just have to let you guys know that we call Zelensky the ungrateful goblin. Well, somebody mentioned that, and then you mentioned that you wanted that emoji. So if you look on the members emojis, you can have two versions of the emoji, which is really funny. And these are the two versions. So thank you so much for confirming the sound and the video. As people load in, we are also going to be giving away it random generates free memberships, so I think we can do that. Yes, we can do that live. When the stream gets to about 30 to 40 people watching, we're going to be giving away 5 memberships to the channel, and I think I'm allowed to give memberships once a month. So we're going to be doing that on the live streams, and you guys get to enjoy these little emojis that we created for the channel. Let me just go over them really quickly. We have Putin likes, which is 1 thumbs up from Vladimir Putin. We have Putin loves, which is 2 thumbs up from President Vladimir Putin. We have Trump likes, which is just double thumbs up because he likes it. We have a Giga Chad. Hello, TW. We have the Giga Chad, which is a Russian Marine or VDV, probably. We have the Russian flag. We have Putin calls because this is for the call that is for today. Black Cat, hey brother, welcome. So nice to see you. We have Angry Putin. I'm going to get these a little bit bigger. Some of these are going to get better quality. We have, and the 2 new additions, like I said, we have the Ungrateful Goblin, which is the Vladimir Zelensky, Vladimir. And we have Zelensky Goblin. There's 2 variants of the Ungrateful Goblin. So yes, when we get to maybe, like I said, 30 to 40 people watching, we're going to be giving away 5 memberships to the people. So welcome to today's live. As many of you guys know, there was a call between the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, and the president of the United States. This is a phone call that the world has been waiting for. I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on this, and I already told you why it's happening. On a previous live, I told you guys that the reason why there is a need for peace more than ever now is because essentially the war is going downhill for the West. It doesn't matter who you're rooting for. The casualties are insane right now. And you've been hearing the president of the United States say, hey, we need to end this because the casualties are immense. Now, this call just happens to be so close to the fall of the Kursk region for the Ukrainians, but also it falls in line with the celebration of the Crimean independence and back into the Russian Federation. There is a lot going on there, right? So Ukraine loses a major battle in the Zuja region, the Kursk region, and also it's a significant day because Crimea rejoins the Russian Federation. So there is a lot going on for the Russians. And this call actually boosts the Russian side. You could say that the Russians have won a major victory when the United States involves itself in these types of talks. You know that Europe is one side, Ukraine is one side. All of these different people want to be sitting at the table, but in the end, it looks like it's going to be the Russian Federation and the United States deciding what's going to be of this peace, which means this is a major Russian victory. No matter how you see it, no matter what side you were rooting for, you have to understand, and we're going to be going into the thread later of what Russians demanding. Just because they're calling doesn't mean that the conflict is coming to an end immediately. There has been first contact, and it's been said that the Russian Federation denied a call a long time ago. There was a call that supposedly happened, but it didn't actually happen. This is the call. This is the first official contact. So before we go on any further, we're going to be going ahead and giving away 5 memberships to this channel. Please do consider hitting like. This is completely generated by the computer itself. Please hit like now, and may the odds be in your favor. The channel, the YouTube gives the memberships away. I don't control who they go to. Hello to Argentina. So let's go ahead and just, Black Cat, thank you so much for the support, brother. You've been here for a long time. You're actually an original member. So let's go ahead and generate these free memberships. I think I can do it. We're just going to see if it works. Okay, it worked. Well, brother, and actually, Black Cat comes in really clutch there and gives away 5 of his own. And as you can see, the memberships are going out to people who watch lives, but also have accept gifts on their profiles. And so the people that are, the membership went to Russian bot. That's a pretty cool picture. We might add that as an emoji. So Jacob Rubio asks, hey Dan, is it true that they left the ban on the Visa and MasterCard? Yes, the ban is still happening, but it doesn't mean that it can't be taken off in the future. This call was just initial. This was an initial contact, okay? There is no peace negotiations happening just yet. And there you go. Congratulations to all the people that got the free memberships. Please feel free to use the emotes, the new emojis on the chat. So this is a big disclaimer. Just because there is talks between the Russian Federation and the United States, it does not mean that peace is coming anytime soon. This is an initial call, and this call is essentially being used to show the world, back off Europe, back off the rest of the world. The United States is going to be dealing with Russia. Ukraine is in the backseat and Europe is in the backseat right now. Okay, there's not a lot of people who can actually make this deal happen. It's going to have to be between these two great powers, and Russia itself ascends into a global power with this victory. I mentioned it in the past that in the past, the United States was not looking at Russia eye to eye. With this big victory in Kursk, with this big victory of having the United States come to Russia and see it eye to eye, it essentially elevates Russia to a global power again. we know that the Soviet Union, when it was alive, it was known as a global world power. Why? Because of its influence, because of its population, because of its weapons, because of what they the what the I don't want to sound crazy here, but the power of the Soviet Union was bona fide through its history. It defeated the Nazis in the Second World War, or the Great Patriotic War, and it elevated itself to world power. When the USSR falls, Russia is down here, not because it lost any power, but because the rest of the world pushed it down to second tier or third tier, okay? So with this call, what happens is it is recognized as a world power yet again, and it's brought back into the table of influence. And you're going to see why when I read the news of what was talked about in this call. You're going to understand that the United States is now looking at Russia at level eyes, okay? So I'm going to go now and read the reports coming from the media here. It's going to be a summary of what happened. I'm going to take a drink of water first. So let's get started. Again, we're doing this from the computer, and I'm going to be reading the news article here. So it says, the leaders continued a detailed and frank exchange of views on the situation around Ukraine. Vladimir Putin expressed his gratitude towards Donald Trump for his desire to contribute to the noble goal of a cessation of hostilities and human losses. So this is the opening sentences. This is the opening sentences on this article, saying that the president of the Russian Federation appreciates the fact that Donald Trump is desiring to contribute for peace, confirming that the principled commitment to a peaceful resolution of the conflict. The president of Russia declared his readiness to work with American partners to carefully study possible ways of settlement, which should be comprehensive, sustainable, and long-term. So in this next sentence, you get a sense that the president of the Russian Federation is letting the world know that it's agreeing. It is agreeing in making a deal through the American side. Because you know that the Europeans, or those chihuahuas in Europe, really want to break Russia apart, and they want to sit at the table and basically stab Russia in the back, or push Russia back down. And it looks like the United States is going to be dealing with Russia directly, and it looks like the Russian president is keen on dealing with America. And that sentence lets us know. So I'm going to continue reading, and then we can get to some questions and comments. And of course, to take into account the unconditional need to eliminate the root causes of the crisis, Russia's legitimate interest in the field of security. So without eliminating or dealing with the initial problems that Russia had, it is letting the West know that it is not going to go into these peace talks if they are not being listened to, right? Remember, there was reasons why Russia went into the conflict, and then there's reasons why those reasons that they started with, if they are not met and finished, then they will not leave. So, and let's continue reading. In the context of the United States President's initiative to introduce a 30-day truce, the Russian side identified a number of significant points regarding the provisions of effective control over a possible ceasefire along the entire line of combat contact, the need to stop forced mobilization in Ukraine and rearm the armed forces of Ukraine. So I feel like the Russian Federation is not going to accept a ceasefire unless Ukraine stops mobilizing its men. Not that it's scared of its people who are being mobilized. They've been fighting them in the front. But the problem is that if you continue to mobilize and forcibly mobilize your population, the conflict is only going to continue and continue. So, in that sentence, the president of the Russian Federation is letting the Americans know, hey, we can't get a ceasefire if they're continuing to mobilize, all right? So I'm going to continue reading this. There are also serious risks associated with the inability to negotiate with Kiev, with the Kiev regime, which has repeatedly sabotaged and violated the agreements reached. So this is not news to us. The Ukrainian government has already denied its old actions where it does betray the negotiations that they had before. And so in that sentence, what we know is that there is major risks if the United States and Russia come to an agreement. There's that X factor, Ukraine. Ukraine can just go solo and not follow the rules, or it will not follow what is implemented by the peace agreement. And Russia is letting know that, hey, we know that this can happen. Now, listen to this next sentence, guys. This next sentence is absolutely important. Attention is drawn to the barbaric terrorist crimes committed by the Ukrainian militants against the civilian population of the Kursk region. The Russian Federation is 100% gonna hold accountable the Kursk invasion. Now, what is the difference between the Kursk invasion and the conflict and the beginning of the conflict when Russia goes into Ukraine, when they claim the special military operation? What is the difference? The biggest difference is, and let's just say both of them came in, but one side absolutely destroyed the civilian population. The Russian military has been very careful not to harm civilians. The Russian military goes out of its way, spending resources via logistics and men to not harm civilians. And the Russian Federation had the possibility to absolutely bomb the living hell out of settlements in Ukraine. Let me know if the connection is still okay. Let me know if we're still rolling here, because this point of the article is very important. Okay, nice. Listen, guys, when Russia goes in, it could have absolutely devastated the Ukrainian cities. I'm going to give you an example. Do you think I don't care what, I mean, I don't want to talk about Israel and the politics and Gaza there, but what Israel has been doing bomb-wise to the Gaza Strip, this is not a powerful country, okay? Russia could do that times 100. It could absolutely flatten entire cities. What I'm trying to give you is examples. Now, when Russia goes into Ukraine, it could have flattened entire cities. It didn't. When the Ukrainians went into Kursk, they absolutely destroyed civilization for the civilians. Now, in this sentence, I'm going to read it one more time for the people who are joining. This was something that a Russian government wanted the people to know. Attention is drawn to the barbaric terrorist crimes committed by the Ukrainian militants against the civilian population of the Kursk region. So remember this sentence, because when peace agreements come back, this is going to be brought to the attention of the Americans. They're going to use this as, hey, by the way, do you remember what the Ukrainians did? This is something that merits maybe a bigger buffer zone, that merits perhaps demilitarizing Ukraine to a certain amount of soldiers, a certain amount of weapons, because they cannot be trusted anymore. Okay, we're going to continue reading now, but remember that. Welcome everybody who just came back or who just got members and who is signing in to the live today. We're going to be going over the news of the call. I'm going to give my opinions. And remember, to all of the channel members, we have new emojis. Please use the emojis. They are there for your enjoyment. And we're going to continue on with the news. And yes, please, big thanks to Black Cat for giving away 5 memberships. That was really, really cool of him. So we're going to continue reading here. It was emphasized that the key condition for preventing the escalation of the conflict and working towards its resolution by political and diplomatic means should be the complete cessation of the foreign military assistance and the provision of the intelligence to Kiev. So in that sentence, I'm going to read it one more time because I stumbled a little bit on some of these words. It was emphasized that the key condition for preventing the escalation of the conflict and working towards its resolution by political and diplomatic means should be the complete cessation of foreign military assistance and provision of intelligence to Kiev. So what Russia is going to let the world know is that if we're going to get to peace, you have to stop sending weapons. You need to stop giving the intelligence, because the intelligence is massive via Starlink, maps, eyes in the sky, satellites, all different types of intelligence have to cease on the way towards Ukraine via the NATO countries and the rest of the West. Okay, so in that sentence, we know that what we're reading here are a checklist that Russia wants to check before it even gets into the real peace talks, okay? Hello, guys. If you're just joining, we're going over the conversation that Putin had with the President Donald Trump. I'm giving you guys the perspective from the Russian media, what they tell the Russian people. And on a future video, on another live, we're going to be going over the American side. Why? Because it takes a little bit longer for the Americans to get the news. And yes, please do consider hitting like. So let's continue here. We're going to keep reading. It gets really, really interesting, guys. In connection with Donald Trump's recent appeal to save the lives of Ukrainian servicemen surrounding in the... Let me get over it. In connection with Donald Trump's recent appeal to save the lives of Ukrainian servicemen surrounded in the Kursk region, Vladimir Putin confirmed that the Russian side is ready to be guided by humanitarian considerations, and in any case of surrender guarantee life and decent treatment to the soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine in accordance with the Russian laws and international laws. So in this sentence, we understand that President Putin and Donald Trump actually talked about the Zuja city and the Kursk front, because the Ukrainians were surrounded there. They were enveloped. You can understand a double envelopment, what happened there, and many Ukrainian servicemen were taken as POWs, prisoners of war, and the Russians are still sweeping through Suja right now as we speak. There are videos from Patrick Lancaster of the Russian Federation sweeping through the city and looking for more prisoners of war. Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, has spoken with Putin on the phone, letting him know that Russia's ready to make it easier for the Ukrainians to safely surrender. But the rest is in the hands of the president of Ukraine. And we know that he pushes his men to die, and it's to the last Ukrainian, unfortunately. Why? Because we want to preserve life, guys. Russia was not an enemy of Ukraine. Russia was a sister country to Ukraine, and actually, Russia is a beautiful country that has so much love for Ukraine, whether you want to believe it or not. In my hometown, we have a lot of Ukrainian people, and Ukrainians here are treated the same as everyone else. Just to get that out there. And that's why I believe in the last sentence that we just read, it is true. The Russians will be able to honor a safe surrender for those that were captured in the Kursk region. So we're going to continue reading, okay? I need to drink more water. So what I want to ask right now is for all the channel members who are watching, please do. From time to time, I'm going to ask you guys to use a new emoji just to see how they look on stream. So if you're a channel member, go ahead and put in the Giga Chad Russian guy, because Russia's being a huge Giga Chad right now. So please, if you're a channel member, put in that Giga Chad emoji, because no, not the goblin, Bert, not the goblin. What are you guys doing? Not the goblin. The Giga Chad. It's the soldier that looks like me with this striped shirt. Okay, it's the first time we tried that, guys. You guys are so funny. I asked for the Giga Chad and you put the green goblin. This is the Giga Chad. That was horrible. So let's continue reading the reports here. If you're just joining the live, guys, we got over the part where the Russian Federation is in conversation telling the President of the United States that it's ready to offer an easy surrender for the Ukrainians, okay? So let's continue reading. I hope you're enjoying this live. During the conversation, Donald Trump put forward a proposal. So now we're getting, now we're getting to the part where the United States is going to give a proposal of something. During the conversation, Donald Trump put forward a proposal for the mutual refusal of the parties to the conflict to strike energy infrastructures facilities for 30 days. The President Vladimir Putin responded positively to the initiative and immediately gave the Russian military the appropriate command. So it is reported that the United States President asked the Russian Federation, can we stop hitting energy infrastructures, okay? Guys, this is a total victory for Russia. Okay, this is one superpower asking another superpower, hey, take it easy, okay? This is why it's Giga Chad. This is why we're using the Russian Giga Chad, because it's in Russia's hands. Whatever the Americans ask for, Russia has to say yes or no. Okay? Everything that gets proposed on this peace deal has to be a yes from Russia or a no from Russia. Okay? And guys, that is massive. That is massive. We don't usually see when Russia is the A side, the upside. But now Russia has elevated to world superpower once again. In the eyes of the West, in the eyes of the world, Russia now is dealing eye to eye with the Americans, who is supposed to be number one. So what does that make Russia, right? What is your guys' opinion on this? Has this conflict elevated Russia to a superpower? I'm going to put that on a poll for you guys. I would really appreciate it if you guys who are watching, if you have the ability to answer on the live, on the poll, go ahead and answer. So we're going to be adding a poll. Is Russia a world superpower? Go ahead. And by the way, for the people who say that Russia has always been a... Hey, thank you, Daniel-san. We have the same name, Daniel-san. Oh, my name is not Daniel-san. My name is Daniel. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. So, when I'm saying superpower, I already gave you guys the reason why it wasn't considered a superpower. Yes, it's always been a superpower, but the world was not recognizing it as such. And if you don't have the respect of the world, what happens is you get abused. And Russia was being abused. Okay? So now that Russia has been elevated, hello, Beardy. I just have to say, my good friend Beardy is on, and I'm glad to have you here. I know you're watching from another time zone, my friend. So, yes, exactly. What we say by, the cards are all on the Russian side now. Okay? The cards are absolutely in the Russian side. Now, when we talk about nuclear powers, not all nuclear powers are built the same, guys. Not all nuclear powers are respected. Not all nuclear powers are taken seriously, okay? Militarily, diplomatically, all of these things add up to be a world superpower, okay? I myself would not call superpowers to some of these countries with nuclear weapons. We know that England has nuclear weapons. What is England? Does England seem like a world superpower? Their empire was lost so long ago. England has been carried by the United States and Canada and Australia for a long time. So let's be realistic here, okay, guys? A world superpower does not mean having nukes anymore. You need to have the world influence. You need to have the actual military to back it up, the resources to back it up, the population to back it up. And that's why we do the Russian Giga Chad, because Russia's actually acting like a world superpower now. It ascended. So let's continue reading here. Remember, we have Son of Gun. I don't know who's deleting your comments. Admins, nobody should be deleting comments unless they are absolutely out of hand. I don't see anybody who's out of hand right now. Everything's going fine. Please do hit like, by the way. We're almost close to maybe 70 likes. I'm not sure. Let's just get those likes up. That way we have the stream push forward to more people. So let's continue here. Let's continue reading the article. Let's go. I'll read the most recent sentence and we'll continue. During the conversations, Donald Trump put forward a proposal for mutual refusal of the parties to the conflict to strike energy infrastructure facilities for 30 days. Vladimir Putin responded positively to his initiative and immediately gave the Russian military the appropriate command. The president of the Russian Federation also constructively reacted to the idea expressed by Donald Trump by implementing a well-known initiative regarding the safety of navigation in the Black Sea. It was agreed to start negotiations for additional study of the specific detail of such an agreement. So, this is absolutely massive. And maybe some of you guys, it flies over your head, but Donald Trump mentions electric and all these other stuff, infrastructures, but what does Vladimir Putin reference? He says the Black Sea. He says, let's talk about the Black Sea. Now, if you don't know, the Russian Navy is essentially absolutely blocked by so many things. But it does have a huge power in the Black Sea. Now, if Russia can make a deal for the power of the Black Sea, if Odessa port can somehow be controlled by Russia, if Odessa port can somehow be demilitarized through the deal with Russia and America, this is where you start seeing that power. This is where you start seeing the flex, the giga chat of Russia. It's essentially claiming the Black Sea through this conflict. It's letting NATO know that you tried already. You already tried to use Ukraine and it failed. We still control areas of the Black Sea. And let's just be real here. You are not going to take the Black Sea away from us. It was a huge problem for the Russians to get its navy into warm waters. But then Crimea voted to join the Russian Federation. Actually, the anniversary is yesterday. So again, it's very symbolic for the Russian president to ask about the Black Sea. What do you guys think about that assessment? If you're just joining, we're reading an article published after the call between the president of the Russian Federation and the president of the United States of America. We are reading this article. It goes over the things that they talked about, and I'm giving you guys my perspective. So, hey, good morning, my friend. My Siberian hermano is up here. So, we are giving the perspective on this live of the call. This is a Russian summary because this is a Russian article that adds up the entirety of the conversation. And we will be going over the beginning again for the people who are just joining in. But yes, I would like to ask the channel members now, if you could please put on the emoji of Putin on the phone. All the channel members, put on Putin on the phone, because that is what we're talking about. We are talking about the ceasefire talks that the United States had with the Russian Federation. And exactly, we have the channel members putting on that Putin phone call. Why is this so important? Because the Russian Federation gets to be at the table for the most important deal of the century, guys. This is the biggest and most important deal of the century. It is going to solidify the Russian Federation as an equal at the table with the West. Okay, we have been talking about this since the beginning of this live, saying that Russia is back eye to eye. It is no longer being pushed down. It is no longer accepting no more push down from the West. And the last sentence solidifies that thought, because it is the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, who tells the American president, let's talk about the Black Sea. Let's talk about the Black Sea and let's get this sorted out. Because not only are we celebrating the annexation of Crimea, because Crimea voted to join the Russian Federation, but nowhere else in the future will you guys be able to take away any territory we've gained in the Black Sea. And Russia now has a lot of warm water for its Russian fleet, okay? Let's continue reading here, guys. We're going to continue reading here, and please do remember to continue supporting the channel via your likes and comments, okay? So we're almost done with this article, but definitely the Black Sea Agreement is going to be huge. If Russia pulls off an impressive deal to demilitarize Odessa or gain control of Odessa or anything Odessa, it legitimizes the entire coast for Russia. A lot of people wanted Russia to invade Odessa. No, this is the wrong move. You win Odessa diplomatically. You win the Black Sea diplomatically on an unconditional surrender of the Ukrainian forces. I prefer my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, not to go fight for Odessa. I prefer politicians in Russia diplomatically gaining control of the port or demilitarizing it. Okay? They are very smart here in Russia. They've been dealing with this for a long time, and I am certain that they will talk about the Black Sea further. So let's continue reading. Vladimir Putin informed that on March 19, so this is very, very soon, guys. It's already March 19 in Russia. Let me read to you the news. This is the next sentence. The president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, informed that on March 19, the Russians and the Ukrainian sides will exchange prisoners. There's going to be a huge prisoner exchange, 175 people. Okay, that is massive. That's a lot of men coming back to Russia safely. That is a lot of men who get to grow their families again. That is a lot of men and maybe women, we don't know, who can remake their lives here and come back home safe. So let's continue reading. In addition, 23 seriously wounded Ukrainian servicemen who were being treated in Russia medical institutions will be transferred as a gesture of goodwill. As a gesture of goodwill, the Russian Federation is sending 23 severely wounded men that were wounded and were being taken care of in Russia's hospitals. They will be sent as a gesture of goodwill. This is on top of the 175 people that are going to be traded as POWs as an equal swap. The ratio of prisoner exchange in this conflict has been 1-to-1. Okay? So what we're seeing here is that the Russian Federation is absolutely doing a huge power move here. Again, saying, listen, we will do this prisoner exchange, but we're also going to be doing a gesture of goodwill, and you're going to get to keep these 23 severely wounded men that we saved their lives, and you're going to get them back. So that's another, again, thumbs up, or Putin loves, or thumbs up by Donald Trump, and thumbs up by Vladimir Putin on the chat from the channel members. That is huge. They would never do this. They would never do this in the West. You've never seen this in any conflict where we openly try to make peace, where we're so one-sided. Russia has absolutely acted so good in this conflict. The prisoners exchange, the mercy of sending people back to their families when they're severely wounded. You never see this from any other side, guys. It is massive. It is massive. As a war veteran myself, I can't imagine. No, I mean, listen, my war was an unconventional war, but I remember taking prisoners of war. I'll tell you a quick story of the big difference in an unconventional war when your country is just imperialistic and invading random countries. I'll tell you, I only took prisoners of war one time. I'm not a freaking war hero or anything, but I only took prisoners of war one time. And it was a young man, an older man, and two just normal military-aged men. It must have been 4. Those poor bastards were probably taken somewhere to be absolutely, who knows, I'm not going to go into it, but I don't know what happened to them. They were they were just people who we took as prisoners of war for combat. Who knows what happened to those guys? So you see, this is the reality. This is the difference between a conventional war, an unconventional war, and a country that actually, like Russia, giving back prisoners of war, giving back severely wounded prisoners of war is massive. You don't see this from any other countries. That's why I'm bringing it up, because this right here is something very, very important. The West likes to paint Russia as an angry, bloodthirsty country, but it's doing things like these, okay? That's what it is. We're going to be continuing the live. I'm going to be reading more of this article. Let's see. I don't know who this guy is, but he's... Yeah, I don't know who that is. Let's continue reading here on the article. I think I had already banned that guy from another account. I think that guy uses multiple accounts, and I just don't like his his style. Sorry if he's anybody's friend. Thank you, Black Cat. Thank you. Thank you so much for being part of this channel, man. You've been here for a long time, and I really appreciate your support always. It means a lot to me. Actually, let's get some questions. You guys have been hearing my opinions. Go ahead and ask some questions to the channel. It can pertain to what we just talked about, or it can be of any other topic. Feel free to ask questions right now. We can spend about 10 minutes answering your guys' questions. During this live, we are going to be showing you Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. It's going to be a pretty long live because after we talk about the phone call, I'm going to show you what Russia's looking like right now. We have about 80 people, I think. Please go ahead and ask any questions that you may have. You can ask opinions on this topic. We're talking about the call between the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, and the president of the United States, Donald Trump. They recently had a call, and we're going over the certain things that were mentioned. The other kind of overlooked aspect mentioned by the Russian readout was the potential Russia, and we're going to get into that. You actually jumped the gun, Ptolemy. This was something that I wanted to mention. How much of Ukraine do you think Putin will liberate? Putin told Tucker that Kyiv was a Russian city. So, listen, guys. The Russian Federation has already told you what regions it has liberated diplomatically, and when the conflict's over, it will do it militarily and come in. It is Zaporozhye, it is Kherson, it is Lugansk, and it's Donetsk. Okay, these are the 4 new territories. This is known as Novorossiya, and this is already legitimately part of the constitution of the Russian Federation. This is the only regions that Russia is saying it wants to liberate right now. As of now, it can take more territory if it wants. It has already been annexed by the Russian Federation by legal bounds, by legal means. So that's a really good question, Polygon. The Russian Federation can continue to take more territory, and it is not going to give it back unless it's traded off for something. So the longer that this conflict lasts, the more territory Ukraine can lose in other fronts. Okay, just pay attention to what I just said. The longer the conflict lasts, the more the Russian Federation can take in other regions. Now we know the Russian Federation probably wants a buffer zone between the Kursk region and Ukraine. So this is just what I'm saying. So does anybody else have any other question, guys? We are going over the phone call that the Russian Federation had with the United States. So it's Kleb. It's Kleb. No, that's not Gleb, that's Gleb. Listen, that might be my buddy out in Irkutsk, Gleb. It's funny that yesterday at Irkutsk Radio MCM, all day played song Call Me Call. So Gleb says there was a funny song called Call Me Call yesterday during the call. I don't know if it's just coincidence or it's just a bit of irony for the world. So, yeah. Gleb, my buddy out in Irkutsk, maybe. Because if he says in Irkutsk, I only know one Gleb. So Bert Miles asks, how's my Russian coming? I can understand so much Russian. I am still not speaking it. I do sometimes, I've made 2 videos in Russian. I'm still not confident enough to just produce maybe 10-minute video in Russian. But I have made maybe 5-minute videos of Russian. But we'll see. So guys, please go ahead and ask any questions that you may have. I want to thank you for the visa video. It was a huge help. I'm here to help. And by the way, guys, If you need any type of help off of these streams, join the Russian Experience. That is my Telegram channel. That is my Telegram channel where you can contact me directly and talk to other members of this community directly. We help people get visas. We help people buy properties. We help people move money or bring money into Russia. We help everything. Question, Christopher asks, do you seriously think that a long-lasting peace can be achieved if NATO mega base is built in Romania? Yes, I do believe it. And I'll tell you why. What Belarus is, okay, and you guys can ask, you guys can play the devil's advocate. But what I'm going to tell you right now is the absolute truth. Militarily speaking, what Belarus is a mega base for Russia. It can put its troops as much as it wants in Belarus. Now, the equivalent of that would be a mega base in Romania or Bulgaria or what other countries there? Greece. So those three countries, if NATO were to put one, or even Poland, it would essentially be what Russia has in Belarus. And Russia's not scared of that. Russia's not scared of that. So if Russia doesn't want it, it can say don't do it, but it might not stop NATO from doing it. But Russia is definitely not scared of those countries having bases, okay? Just so you know. Because Russia has Belarus, militarily speaking. Very good question, Christopher. I hope that my answer was good for you. Here we have another question by First Lady. Does anyone think that the United States president is a complete idiot? I think that the United States president is not a complete idiot because we had a complete idiot before. And so if you have a complete idiot and you know what a complete idiot looks like, you know that the Biden is not like Donald Trump. Do I agree with everything that Donald Trump says? No, I don't. But do I think that he's a complete idiot? I do not, because we had a complete idiot before, and that's why we're in this situation. Hey, brother, thank you so much for the donation. ADH, what is happening? Moderators, let's make sure that you shouldn't be putting people on timeout, okay? Again, they have to be doing some crazy stuff to be put on timeout. In fact, moderators, please don't put people on timeout. Let me do that. You guys can delete comments if they're crazy. Greetings from Michoacan, United States. I would love to move to Russia too, but too old to start over. Blessings, viva Mexico. So it's never too late to come visit. You can come visit me. I have a nice plot of land. I have a nice apartment. I will show you the nature in Russia, take you to see the city. I can do a lot of touristic things for you. You don't have to move to Russia. You can come visit Russia. You can find love in Russia and go back. I'm so sorry about the timeout, all right? Let's continue going with the conversation. So I'm really enjoying these questions that you guys are having. I try to be unbiased. I am not a radical. I am not a radical Russian. I'm not even Russian. I'm not a radical leftist. I'm not a radical conservative. I consider myself down the line, down the middle, like these lines. I'm a straight shooter. I say it how it is. So when you ask me questions, I'm going to give you the exact answers, okay? So let's see. Here we have another question. Would Russia send its protection to Iran, or does Iran not need it? So Iran does not need protection from Russia. Okay? Iran does not need protection from Russia at all. Anybody who messes with Iran would have a huge problem. It's a big country, and if you want to go to war with Iran, you're going to have to deal with conventional war. Russia does not want to get its foot in unconventional war, okay? That's my answer to you, and it is the truth because you saw what happened in Syria. Russia didn't really want to get involved way too much in that craziness that's happening in that part of the world. It will do as much as it can, but it will not commit to absolute problems in the Middle East. It learns from the United States' mistakes and it learned from its own conflict in Afghanistan. Remember, the Soviet Union had a conflict in Afghanistan. It knows not to spend time there. So, again, we're going over these questions that people have for me. If your question is answered, just please throw a thumbs up if you're satisfied that it has been answered, okay? I try my best. Oh, thank you so much, Samos, for the donation. It means a lot. Again, a lot of you guys have been with this channel for so long, and I know you guys on a personal level from being on these lives. Question from one of our channel members. Josue says, how do Russians see the suppression of pro-Russian political movement in Europe? I'll tell you something. I'll give you the opinion of my father-in-law. So the Russian population knows how badly Russians are treated at the beginning of the conflict and now towards the tail end of the conflict. And I'll tell you what, the Russian people are not holding a grudge, but they do not like turn a blind eye to this. What I can tell you, Josue, is that the Russian population absolutely are aware. They are aware of everything that's being done to their people, and how they decide to react in the future, we're going to have to see. But as of now, the Russian people, like the Russian government, have been very, very strong, and they have been thick-skinned. So let's continue here with the questions. Another question by one of our channel members, Dan. I will drive with my RV from Belgium to your location on Lake Baikal. Do you have a place to park? Eric, if you drive from Belgium, and I've had friends, I have visitors from France. Somebody from France drove their RV all the way to Lake Baikal. I took them to the best spot. If you come, you can park next to Lake Baikal, and you can park in my plot. You are a channel member. I appreciate your support and everything, but listen, this is an open invitation to the world. Russia is a friendly country. If you come to Russia, you will be met as a friend, especially to Lake Baikal because I'm here. Okay, let's continue with the questions here. Okay, so Pastor says that he might take me up on my offer. Guys, if you want to get in contact with me, join the Russian Experience. It is my Telegram channel. I'm going to put the Telegram channel for you right now. Okay, it's really, really simple. I'm going to be putting our, no worry, Black Cat. I trust you, judge. I trust your judgment, guys. Again, let's just remember that moderators, you can delete comments, but I'll put the people on timeout if they get out of hand. What I'm putting on the screen and pinning for you, what I have just pinned is the Russian Experience Telegram. If you want to visit Russia, if you want to get a Russian visa, if you want to do whatever you want to do, you go to the Russian Experience. We have moderators there as well, and we help people come visit Russia. We help people move to Russia. We help people buy property in Russia. We recently bought a new apartment for one of our subscribers here in Russia, so we know what we're doing here in Russia, okay? So again, I don't watch other channels so that I don't get influenced. I only do my analysis on the Real Reporter channel, and that's what I do. So again, we're going back to the questions. We're going to spend 1 more minute on 2 more questions, and then we're going to go back to the article, guys. We are reading the outcome of the call between the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, and Donald Trump. I am reporting live from Russia. I am reporting live from Russia through an article written in Russia that summarizes what happened in that call. Dan, I keep hearing that Russia is a Christian nation. Do you find this to be true? Russia is a Christian nation, but Russia is also a Buddhist nation, an Islamic nation, a Catholic nation. Every religion exists in Russia. There's brave fighters right now fighting from the republics that are Muslims, that are Islamic religious republics inside of Russian Federation. The Chechens, the Dagestanis. Russia does not turn its back on its population. So if you think that Russia is only Christian Orthodox, no. It is not only one religion, but Russia has other religions and they fight hand in hand in this war. And so I will respect them. Okay, I will respect them and I will tell you the truth. Russia has many religions and here they mix. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna close the poll now. We had a poll: is Russia a superpower now? And 91% of you voted yes. 9% of you voted no. There was over 100 votes. So that is a legitimate outcome. We have at least 100 votes and 91% has said yes, Russia is now a superpower. We're going to end that poll. And you can see the results. If you're watching from the computer screen, you can see the results there. AD8 asks, do you think the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, and the Russian military will accept anything that does not secure Russia, such as Ukraine remain a state with a threatening military? So, Russia has already let the world know it is not willing to accept any treaty that defies the original liberation of the 4 regions, denazifying Ukraine and demilitarizing Ukraine. Sorry. So, ADH, I do not believe that Russia, after saying it will not accept it, I don't believe that it will go turn its back on the Russian people and turn its back on the Russian men and women who have died in the conflict. There's no turning back for Russia. All of the previous negotiations were broken by the West. This next one will not be agreed on Russia unless it benefits Russia to the last dot on that paper. It will not accept anything that contradicts what it's already said. Okay? Sorry for that. I'm cleaning the camera here. All right. Please let me know if you can still hear me and see me. We are going to move on and continue reading the article. I appreciate everybody who asked the question. I hope that my answer was enough for the time you took to think about that question. I usually like to think about what I'm going to answer, so I want to give the same energy back. Okay. Go ahead, Agustin, please ask me the question again. I'm sorry. I must have missed it on one of the floods on the chat. Sometimes the chat does move a little bit faster. Oh, will Trump agree to never allow Ukraine from joining NATO? Your thoughts? Very good question. Very good question by one of our members. So this one for me is really important as well. The reality is this. We are in this conflict because Ukraine thought about joining NATO. The president of the Russian Federation started the special military operation because NATO was this close to getting Ukraine. NATO was this close. Okay? So Russia will not allow it. And I believe that the president of the United States will not allow it as well. I think that the president of the United States will say, okay, I agree with this. We should not allow Ukraine to join NATO. Let's see here. I'm going to answer one more question, two more questions. Question from ADH again. Do you think closing the Kursk pocket will free Ukrainian soldiers to attack from the fronts? So listen, militarily speaking, the Ukrainians are on the back foot, okay? Don't worry about what Ukraine can do. Now it's weaker than ever, and it becomes weaker every day. Wayne is asking, Dan, why has Putin never addressed the Canadian army deployment in Ukraine? I personally think that I don't think that the Russians want to even mention Canada. I don't think that Russia wants to mention Canada at all. And I said Canada because I think it's funny. But I don't think that Russia wants to even acknowledge Canada. The more people that Russia acknowledges, the more people, the more rats that will come to the cheese to try to take away at the negotiation table. So I'll say it again. The Baltic states, those the little Chihuahua dogs, tried to get troops in the country of Ukraine. They'll probably do it, but what I'm saying is all of these people just want to get involved. They want to steal from Ukraine. We all know that Ukraine was used as a proxy country to attack Russia. And Ukraine has a lot of land, a lot of resources, a lot of humans. So the rest of the world has taken many women from Ukraine, many men from Ukraine, much wealth from Ukraine. They've been using Ukraine. And Russia has gone to war with Ukraine, and Canada wants to take from Ukraine as well. Everybody's just trying to get their bits. So, and Canada doesn't exist if it's a 51st state like our member said. We're going to continue on with this live, reading from the article. The leaders confirmed that their intention to continue efforts to achieve a bilateral settlement in Ukraine, including taking into account the above-mentioned proposals of the President of the United States. For this purpose, Russia and American expert groups are created. So what's happening is now they are coming together. Russia and the United States. They're making groups of, I actually don't understand that sentence. But what my perception is after reading that is that they're coming into a bilateral agreement on the things that was mentioned. And I told you, the Black Sea, stop hitting infrastructures of electricity. They're going to be making groups of Russian and Americans coming together to propose ideas to better settle these problems. This is going to be an unprecedented thing in a long time where Russia and the Americans are going to work together. The last time we worked together was in Syria. There's videos of the militaries, but diplomatically, in a long time, I don't remember when. Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump also touched on other issues of international agenda, including the situation in the Middle East and the Red Sea region. So now this is where it gets even more spicy. Now we have Russia and the United States talking about global problems. The United States has been the global police for so long, but now that Russia is a world superpower, it has a say on where and how things can be settled. Russia can now openly work with the United States to settle problems in different regions, bringing the two world superpowers closer together. I know a lot of Americans who don't like China and Russia being together, But Russia and China being together can be a good thing for Russia, but America and Russia being together for solving world problems could absolutely be massive. Joint efforts will be made to stabilize the situation crisis. Joint efforts will be made to stabilize the situation at crisis points. Establish cooperation on nuclear, non-proliferation, and global security issues. This in turn will contribute to the improvement of the general atmosphere of Russian-American relations. So there you have it, guys. In that sentence, in this call, they agree that they can work together, joint task force, to stabilize different regions. If Russia can pull off this peace negotiation with the United States, the future relationship between them is going to be amazing. But it's elevated more and more the Russian Federation to a world superpower, because the United States can essentially say, Russia, could you please help us stop these people from doing this? And Russia makes a call, sends men, sends money, sends whatever it has, and it has a lot of resources. And there it is. Russia is an actor in the global stage again. At the beginning of this conflict, Russia was turned off from the globe. The West tried to cancel Russia, but it looks like America is bringing Russia back into international relations. This is going to kill Europe. This is going to make Europe absolutely weak. It is really working in Russia's favor. This is a huge Russian victory, guys. You have to take it as a huge Russian victory. It stabilizes the world. There is no good world where only one guy carries a big stick. This is abusive. Let's continue reading, because some of you asked about a hockey game, and we're going to be getting into the hockey game conversation here soon, okay? If you're just joining this live, we're going over the call that President Putin had with President Donald Trump. One of the positive examples is the solidarity vote in the UN on the resolution on the Ukrainian conflict. Mutual interest in the normalization of the bilateral relations in the light of the special responsibility of Russia and the United States for ensuring security and stability in the world was expressed. So the United States is hugging America. The United States is hugging Russia right now. In this context, a wide range of areas in which our countries could establish cooperation was considered. A number of ideas going in the direction of development in the perspective of mutual beneficial cooperation in the economy and energy were discussed. We know that America didn't want Russia selling gases and oils to Europe, but it looks like America's going to bend the knee and put Europe back in its place, and it's going to be able to directly buy from Russia in the future, maybe, because that's what it's talking about, guys. So here we go. This is where it gets really amazing. This next sentence, I want you guys, channel members, to get ready with Vladimir Putin double thumbs up and the Donald Trump double thumbs up. Get those ready in chat, because this next sentence is hilarious. Donald Trump supported Vladimir Putin's idea of organizing hockey matches in the United States and Russia between American and Russian players playing in the NHL and the KHL. The presidents agreed to stay in touch on all issues raised. So please, channel members, please, guys, put your double thumbs up from Vladimir Putin, double thumbs up from Donald Trump. If we can get these hockey games happening, it's going to blow up the internet. If we can get relationships starting with sports again, it'll blow up the internet. It is amazing, guys. Please, channel members, bring our boys back together. This is amazing. I hope they do fight on the ice. Oh my God. I hope we do see some ice hockey fights. because a lot of Russian people think that Americans are pansies, but we're not pansies. You just look at the wrong Americans on social media, guys. A great hockey fight would be amazing. Between Russia and the United States would be amazing. Oh man. So that is the article that I just read. I'm going to give it one more read in about 10 minutes. And then we're going to go outside. I'm going to show you what Russia's looking at like outside. A lot of you guys watch this channel because of the nature. Well, look, today I'm going to be taking the live chat to Lake Baikal. After we're done summarizing the phone call, a lot of you people perhaps have never seen the lake. I will be taking you to see the lake today again because I'm going to be doing another recording on Lake Baikal. So I'm going to be recording there. So I want to take you guys there. Before I read the article one more time, please be sure to consider putting like on this video. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. The reason why you can't speak is because the chat is for subscribers only. And I appreciate all the support that comes this way. So let's go ahead and get more questions from you guys. We recently answered about 10 or 15 questions, and we're gonna do another questionnaire, and then we're gonna read the article one more time. Okay, so let's read some of your guys' questions, answer them, and we're gonna go over the article one more time. So, backing the Ukrainian peace, not the rogue government. Yes, this is a really important thing, that Russia should be making peace with a legitimate government in Ukraine. Ptolemy, Nord Stream is actually a joint venture cooperation based in Switzerland. Christopher, fact checking. This is an opportunity for all of you guys to please ask a question, but also join the Telegram. It is linked on the chat on top. The Russian Experience. In this Telegram channel, you can learn everything that I'm talking about. You can learn everything that I've previously talked about. And yes, I drink water from a bowl. Any more questions, please go ahead and ask. Hey, my friend, you got it wrong. The United States isn't hugging Russia. It's Trump hugging Russian. The people are backing Ukraine. No, this is, and I like comments like these. So Mistros is saying that the American people are backing Ukraine, which is absolute lunacy. The American people do not support a country that has a false leader who is asking for so much money, who is an ungrateful goblin. So I'm asking every channel member to spam the ungrateful goblins. Ungrateful goblins. America does not support Ukraine. We do not support a war that was not necessary. Okay, so there you go, man. That is the ungrateful goblin for you. That is the reason why we have this emoji. Just, you know, we have this emoji because Americans do not support Ukraine. We, the people, do not support funding a war that might cause us to go to war. And the chat is letting you know by posting the ungrateful goblin that we do not support this war. I appreciate you watching this live stream, man, but America is definitely not on the wrong side in this right now. The American government is on the right side right now, and the American government and the American people are on the right side. We do not support this war. Yes, so I haven't had any questions from you guys. Maybe I'm just talking too much. So I'm gonna take 1 minute of silence while I go get water, and then I'll be back. Hold your questions. Uh, hold your questions and think about your questions. I'm gonna go get more water, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them right now. Serbia, brother. Hello, Serbia. How's the uproar going there? Regards from Serbia. We love Serbia here in Russia. Yeah, I'm working on getting things on the shelves. I'm just waiting for the right things that I want to put up there. You know, if we do more streams, I do want them to look nice. So I'm waiting on the things that I'm going to get. I'm also building a PC right now, so my whole setup is going to change. Okay, let's see. I hope everything will be good, but what after Trump finishes? We are safe for 4 years, but what comes after, essentially? So I don't think that the United States is ready in 4 years to go back to the left. So we're gonna be all right. Okay, it's gonna be all right. Question: what do Russians think about Southeast Asians? I would like to visit Siberia one day. So a lot of Russians actually visit Southeast Asia all the time. A lot of Russians absolutely love Southeast Asia. And I haven't met a Russian who hates a particular person or race or group. Like the moderator said, like Russian people don't really have a reason to hate anything. They're mostly really outgoing people. When they travel, you know who you're running into Russians. Russians are usually, how do I put it? Like Russians and Americans, when they travel, they're a little similar. They love to have fun. It is a really good time. So Southeast Asia is really close to Russia, and a lot of Russians go to Southeast Asia. Good relationship. Lots of Russians out here in the United States. I wonder how they feel being away from their homeland. Actually, I know how it feels for some Russians. I recently got sent hate comments from a Russian who lives in Novosibirsk. So I'll tell you this quick story. A Russian from Novosibirsk moved to Los Angeles, and I left a comment saying like, "Hey, be careful. Okay, you're Russian. California is really toxic, and it's a good place to get some money and leave." And then they told me, "Oh, something like." I'm just an American who ran away to Russia to the backwoods or something. So like there's a lot of Russians who are in America who actually hate America. I mean, there's a lot of Russians in America who hate Russia. Okay? So there is Russians who hate Russia. That exists. That I have met. There's so many Russians in America who absolutely fell for the propaganda early on. There's a lot of Russian YouTubers who hate Russia, who produce so much hate content. I personally try to stay neutral in this topic. I am not Russian. I will never be Russian. I don't have Russian citizenship. I don't have Russian even residency. So, Nate asks, is it difficult to travel back and forth between the United States and Russia? No, I don't fly back to the United States. I haven't been back to the United States in like 3 years or 2 years, more than 2 years. I'm not sure when's the last time I went. I went for a few weeks, but then I went to Mexico. I don't plan on I don't plan on going back to the United States ever, probably. And that is a live in a video I'm going to be making. And it's not because I hate the United States. I'm going to tell you guys on live right now why I'll never go back to the United States. My wife is a Russian. If my country does not want to acknowledge my wife and give her at least a visa for visiting, and it gives it to me without a hassle, I will not visit the United States. I want the United States to recognize my marriage to a Russian citizen. I am not going back to the United States as long as it doesn't recognize my marriage, and I'm not going to feed into the bull crap. I've talked about this in the past. It makes me very angry that illegal immigrants and immigrants from Ukraine, immigrants from the Russian Federation ran away to the United States, and they were let in without any questions. But my wife married an American veteran, and if she is not allowed to go in, then I don't want to go back to the United States. If the United States doesn't want to recognize that one of its veterans married a Russian and they should be giving her either residency or at least a visa to visit my family, I don't want it. I don't want it. I am born and raised in the United States. This is my country of origin. I served in the United States Marine Corps. I did what Americans do. I mean, I don't know. So anyways, the question was going to the United States. I don't plan on going. I'm not going to dishonor my wife and my future kids by accepting this BS. So, give me a second here. Please let me know if you guys can still hear me and see me. I am going to continue this live if I'm still live. Oh, thank you guys. Okay. So, now I can get back to your guys' questions. Let's see. Ungrateful Goblin. No Ukraine support here. I love the name that this channel gave to that guy. Let's see. Yeah, everybody let me know where you're watching from. I know a lot of the viewers are usually from the United States. We do have some European viewers. Please let me know what country you're watching from. If you don't have a question, at least let me know what country you're watching from. That way I get an idea of when I should be doing these lives. So we have Australia. Nice to see Australia in the house. Let's see. New Zealand. Whoa, New Zealand and Australia. Belgium. Colorado in the United States. Really nice. Good old United States. Listen, I love my country because my mom lives there and I don't bite the hand that feeds me. How difficult is it to get a driver's license? Here in Russia, I use my Mexican license. I use my Mexican license to drive legally in the Russian Federation, which is really funny, man. Mexico is such a hack. Mexico is such a hack. If you have Mexican citizenship or anything with Mexico, in Russia, you're absolutely loved. Russians absolutely love neutrality. Okay? Saludos desde México, hablando de México. Los mexicanos son el puto amo de Rusia. Aquí en Rusia el mexicano se respeta. México nunca puso sanciones a Rusia, nunca aceptó la orden de Estados Unidos que le ponga sanciones a Rusia. So, Russia was never sanctioned by Mexico. The United States and the West pushed Mexico, said, Mexico was told by the United States, you have to put sanctions on Russia. And Mexico said, boop, no, we don't, buddy. We are a neutral country. We don't impose sanctions on countries who have never done anything to us. So I use my Mexican driver's license in Russia, and it's been absolutely good. I don't have any problems with it. Guatemala, wow. Rodrigo Carrera, saludos a Guatemala. Saludos. The First Lady is saying in chat, you are making me love Russia. First Lady, I invite you to Irkutsk Oblast. Come see the largest lake in the world in volume. Come look at the deepest lake in the world. Come look at the oldest lake in the world. It's in the heart of Siberia. The Pearl of Siberia is here. 7 minutes away from my house. You can see a natural wonder that is Lake Baikal. So, let's see. Any more questions, guys? We are up to 91 minutes on this live. I am trying my best to accommodate everybody's needs. A lot of you guys like to talk about certain topics. I'm trying to answer those questions. Danny, is it true that the United States Marine Corps forces you to kiss other dudes in boot camp? Oh, you're asking if we kiss other guys in boot camp? Sometimes we do. Sometimes we kiss other guys because when you're in the military, you become at least 0.01% gay for your men because you need to love the men you fight for. If you're in a trench and you're not willing to kiss your friends in a game, you're not going to survive that war. You're not going to save that man's life. I knew every single man in my platoon. I knew every single man in my platoon from their freaking shadow. I can tell apart every man's shadow from everybody else. Just how they stood. Kissing is nothing in the military. It's whatever. Let's see. 88 says, I love this chat room. For an American to have a connection with Russia restores hope in for the future. Rina Rubles? It's like Rubles. Rina, so if you just joined, we were talking about the call between Vladimir Putin and the Russian President Vladimir Putin and the President of the United States, President Donald Trump. We're going to be reading the summary of the call right now. There was not a lot of questions, so we're going to be reading the summary of the call. I want to move to Russia. Rubles was just like the money. Okay, cool. Rena Rubles, if you want to move to Russia, if you want to learn about Russia, join our Telegram, The Russian Experience, and you can have a lot of questions answered. Also, I do a lot of lives and try to just share my experience here in Russia. So, can I post a link in the chat room? Go ahead, if it's nothing crazy. Here we go. We're going to read the article one more time. Get ready, guys. After this, we're going to be answering more questions. The leaders continued a detailed and frank exchange of views on the situation around Ukraine. Vladimir Putin expressed his gratitude towards Donald Trump for his desire to contribute to the noble goal of a cessation of hostilities and human losses, confirming the principled commitment to a peaceful resolution of the conflict. The president of Russia declared his readiness to work with American partners to carefully study possible ways of a settlement, which should be comprehensive and sustainable and long-term. This is the first paragraph of the summary of the call between presidents of the United States and Russia. and of course to take into account the unconditional need to eliminate the root causes of the crisis, Russia's legitimate interest in the fields of security. In the context of the United States President's initiative the U.S. President's initiative to introduce a 30-day truce, the Russian side identified a number of significant points regarding the provisions of effective control over a possible ceasefire along the entire line of combat contact, the need to stop forced mobilization in Ukraine, and rearm the armed forces of Ukraine. There are also serious risks associated with the inability to negotiate the Kiev regime, which has repeatedly sabotaged and violated the agreements reached. Attention is drawn to the barbaric terrorist crimes committed by the Ukrainian militants against the civilian population of the Kursk region. It was emphasized that the key condition for preventing the escalation of the conflict and working towards its resolution by political and diplomatic means should be to complete cessation of foreign military assistance and provision of intelligence to Kiev. In connection with Donald Trump's recent appeal to save lives of Ukraine servicemen surrounding in the Kursk region, Vladimir Putin confirmed that the Russian side is ready to be guided by humanitarian considerations and in any case of surrender guarantees life and decent treatment to the soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine in accordance with the Russian laws and international laws. During the conversation, Donald Trump put forward a proposal for mutual refusal of the parties to conflict strikes energy infrastructures facilities for 30 days. Vladimir Putin responded positively to the initiative and immediately gave the Russian military the appropriate command. The president of Russia also constructively reacted to the idea expressed by Donald Trump of implementing a well-known initiative regarding the safety of the navigation of the Black Sea. It was agreed to start negotiations for additional study of specific detail of such agreements. Vladimir Putin informed that on March 19, the Russian and Ukrainian sides will be exchanging 175 people. In addition, 25 seriously wounded Ukrainian servicemen who are being treated in Russian medical institutions will be transferred as a gesture of goodwill. The leaders confirmed that their intentions to continue efforts to achieve a bilateral settlement in Ukraine included taking into account the above proposals of the presidents of the United States and Russia. For this purpose, Russia and America expert groups are created. Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump also touched on the issues of international agenda, including the situation in the Middle East and the Red Sea region. Joint efforts will be made to stabilize the situation at crisis points, establish cooperation of non-nuclear, non-proliferation, and global security crisis. This in turn will contribute to the improvement of the general atmosphere of the Russian and American relationship. One of the positive examples is the solidarity vote in the United Nations on the resolution on the Ukraine conflict. Mutual interest in the normalization of the bilateral relations in the light of the special responsibility of Russia and the United States for ensuring security and stability in the world was expressed. In this context, a wide range of areas in which our countries could establish a cooperation was considered. A number of ideas going in the direction of development in the perspective of mutual beneficial cooperation in the economy and energy were discussed. Donald Trump supported Vladimir Putin's idea of organizing hockey matches between the United States and Russia in Russia from players of the NHL and KHL. The president agreed to stay in touch on all raised on all issues raised. So I just read the summary of the entire conversation. And now I'm going to summarize the summary. So the summary of the call is: 1. Russia is to be respected, and Russia will not accept any terms that don't benefit Russia. 2. The world cannot push Russia into doing the opposite. 3. The United States is going to be working with Russia to make sure that this ceasefire and this peace is long lasting. 4. Russia has talked about working with America in international problems, not only Ukrainian problems, but international problems. And another very important topic is the Russian Federation is now a world global power. Whether the world accepts it or not, America has recognized Russia as a peer, eye to eye. It is not going to be pushed back down below where it had been after the fall of the Soviet Union. That is a summary of this call. There is going to be future calls. I'm going to be summarizing those in the future. But just know that this is the beginning of possible peace talks. There is two sides. It's America and the United States. The president of the Russian Federation has all of the cards now. All of the cards are in the Russian hands. The ball is on the Russian court. Okay, that was my summary, and now we're going to go back to the live chat and answer some of your guys' questions before we go out into the real world. By the way, guys, if you have not hit like, please do double tap the screen. Please do hit like if possible. It helps the channel grow, and it helps the community grow. And the reason why I have to ask is because if you're still watching, maybe you do like the stream, but you just haven't gave that extra push for the stream. I really appreciate it. So, by the way, ADH, I don't really take anything that Scott Ritter says. I don't really listen to Scott Ritter. I don't even watch other channels, but especially I don't watch Scott Ritter because Scott Ritter never was in combat and Scott Ritter was never in war. And Scott Ritter hasn't lived amongst the Russian people to understand Russia. So he hasn't seen any side of this conflict. So Scott Ritter also has been saying that the war was gonna come to an end since 2022. He is not really a good analyst. But people respect him, and I respect people who respect him. I'm just letting you know my opinion. Fernie asks, do you think the United States would pivot to China first or Iran or the Middle East? I don't think that the United States is going to do anything in the near future. It needs to fix this with Russia first. Russia's the main priority. Believe me, America cannot handle anything else. It needs to solidify a peace with Russia first. America cannot make another enemy if it has Russia as an absolute enemy, okay? So I hope that answers your question. We cannot expect America to choose an enemy or pivot anywhere if it's not in good graces with Russia. First Lady asks, how do Russians feel about the United States president trying to negotiate Ukraine? So the Russian government and the Russian people actually appreciate America coming to its senses, because Russia went through 2 years or 3 years of President Biden warmongering against Russia. So now that the United States is dealing with Russia, it's in much better eyes with the Russians. And even if they're taking resources, Russia also is going to be making deals for resources, for land, for geography points. So Ukraine is going to pay for what it's done. It chose to fight a proxy war, and it's going to be divided in many ways, geographically, economically, demographically. You understand what I'm saying? So you see my question. I'm answering your question, First Lady, by telling you that not only is America doing this, the world is going to take from Ukraine because Ukraine chose to fight a proxy war and it chose the wrong side. Okay, let's see. Any other questions? Am I the only one? Okay, that's not a question for me. Oh, here. Ptolemy says, how do you perceive UK Starmer's coalition potential to sabotage initiative between Russia and the United States? Are you talking about like the coalition of the willing or all these lunatic stuff in the EU? Listen, the EU can do nothing. Excuse me. The EU can do nothing. It had its chance to make peace and it ruined it. You know that Boris Looney went to Ukraine, said no deal. The Europeans are warmongering. They had their chance. The United States would not allow the Europeans to initiate another year of war just so that they could have it their way. That is the reason why the EU is not even at the table. America is trying to cut the umbilical cord away from the EU. America is trying to cut away those dirty people who are always begging for money. Okay, so please put on the Green Goblin channel members. If you're a channel member, put on the Green Goblin again. It really fits this topic really well. The Europeans are a bunch of green goblins, and what they want is to introduce themselves into the problem because they want to take away from Ukraine. Every single country that wants to put troops in Ukraine wants to have resources taken away from Ukraine. Let's get that corrected. Let's put that out into the air. Sleep man, Green Goblin emoji. Yeah, so I hope I answered your question, Ptolemy. I think it was you who asked this question. I hope I answered it. It's not going to work. Ukraine is going to be divided. The less people that are in the table, the better it is for America and Russia. The best way I can describe this is Ukraine is going to pay for what it did in a way that the old Poland was split. It's going to have to be split. South Korea, North Korea, these things are going to happen, but they did it to themselves. Everyone that I know that has visited Russia in the past 10 years does not talk trash about Russia. They actually have only good things to say. You are dead on about a proxy war for many years. Yes, I personally have only negative things to say about Russia that are things that, because I live here. But if you come as a tourist, there is almost no negative things for you to see because there is so many good things for tourists. I live here. My wife is Russian. We live in Russia. Of course, I can say negative things about Russia. Of course, I can complain about these things. I live here. But there's only a certain amount of things that I can complain about because I'm not a citizen. Like, I know my place. You have to be socially aware of the things that you're doing. I'm not going to come to Russia and complain about the healthcare system that I pay no money to. You know what I'm saying? But these are the things that I'm talking about. Hopefully we can get the likes to 150. We're almost there. I have been enjoying this live stream very, very much. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. We are in this live 109 minutes. and it's been going very, very good. I appreciate your guys' support. Again, welcome to all the new channel members. We had a giveaway of 5 at random. It generates them. Black Hat gave another 5, and we are really enjoying these emojis today. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you guys on a drive to the lake. Okay, you guys are gonna get to see the lake. If you've never been to Russia, I'm gonna show you the most beautiful part of Russia, and this is not me saying it. This is just the reality. Question: what does Russian government do to improve their population growth? So, population decline is a problem all over the world. Russia's decline is actually not as big as other countries, but it does have a decline. There is incentives for having babies in Russia. You get money. You get a bonus from the government. You get about 500,000 rubles. I don't know, 400,000 rubles. Every child you get money in Russia, and it's a coupon that you can use it to buy a car, that you can use it to buy a house. So you get money from the government that is given to you to buy things. Also, like SH, our Siberian hermano, says that we do have reduced taxes. If you have 3 or more children, you get reduced taxes in Russia. I'm not going to say who, but I know a certain person who has 3 kids. And it's goals for me to have at least 3 kids in Russia. But my buddy has 3 kids, and he's an example for myself. And honestly, it is something beautiful. So you really, really want to have kids, not because of the monetary reasons, but because having kids is beautiful, right? And Russia really does say, hey, it incentivizes, have kids. Lars also has 3 kids, but I was talking about someone else in my region. I'll give you that. I won't say his name because for his privacy, but yes, Lars does have 3 kids. But here in my region, I have a friend who has 3 kids. And like I said, I look up to him as goals for my life. I'm trying to start my own family, and Russia really puts incentives for you by doing tax cuts, by giving money, by giving all sorts of things. Have you heard any about, yes. People do speak about monsters in the lakes, and there has to be monsters. I go fishing and I see monsters all the time. There's ugly little fishes. Whoa, there you go, Dakota, giving out more memberships. Dakota, thank you so much, man. There you go, guys. So we just got 10 more members, guys. For the people who are watching, when you're a channel member, you can use the emojis that we have in this channel. And channel members, you guys will be voting for the next emoji. We already have a lot of emojis having to do with Putin. Some would do with Trump, and some of infamous Green Goblin, the Ungrateful Goblin. So if you're a new member to the channel, if you just received a new membership, go ahead and use those guys. Those are really, really cool, man. You can use them. 2 thumbs up. Putin is my favorite because he's leaning back. Yeah, so really good question about the incentives for population decline. Aida, are you a woman? Because this is a beautiful name. Aida, your name is absolutely amazing. There is a famous revolutionary woman from Spain who had this name. Famous name. Really strong name for a woman. I don't know if you're a woman, but this name is very powerful. Ida Barrett asks, do you know why health insurance in USA is so expensive and Russia has a free healthcare? So, listen, Ida, the reality is, Ida, that the healthcare business, it's a business in America. Okay? In America, we know it's a business and the population somehow just accepts it. In Russia, it's not a business. In Russia, they need to take care of their citizens. And it's not, listen, nothing is free. People do pay taxes, okay? My wife pays taxes and she gets to use the healthcare system. It is not going to cost you an arm and a leg. The corporations in the United States have made it a business. In Russia, it is not a business. It is life and death. So it is not going to cost you an arm and a leg. No pun intended for that matter. Blaze, my friend from the Urals. What's up, brother? Just chilling here on this live, talking to the people, brother. Thank you for tuning in for now. And thanks to everybody who hit like. We have 150 now. This is really good. I appreciate your guys' support. Ida, I hope I answered your question. The Russians do not see healthcare as a business. The Russians see healthcare as the livelihood of its citizens. The United States is a business, and we all know it. I myself, I was lucky. Damn, this is weird. I feel like a piece of shit. Let me say this again, and I'll say it in another way. I will say I'm a piece of shit for saying that I say I feel lucky. I have healthcare in the United States only because I am disabled from the military. I mean, my back is killing me right now, but my shoulder's killing me. I have migraines all the time. My knees are shot. I have a bunch of scars in my body from random stuff. I feel like a piece of shit because I said I'm lucky. I'm grateful that I have this, but I have healthcare through the VA. The VA is absolutely bad. A lot of my friends who suffer from wounds from the war, some friends have lost legs and whatever. I don't want to talk about it, but like other things, the VA is really bad. So not only is the free healthcare bad, but the healthcare that you have to pay for is too expensive and it's a business. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, any more questions, guys? We are coming up on almost 2 hours of this live. We've given 15 memberships have been donated. I've donated 5 myself, so 20 memberships have been given home. So yeah, let's see. We are waiting for my wife because my wife is gonna come with us. My wife is gonna go with us to Lake Baikal. As you know, I live next to Lake Baikal, and that's where we're gonna go today. So Blaze is asking, would you say that food in Russia is better in terms of quality than in the United States? So I will say that the average food in Russia is better, because America does have farm-grown things, but the majority of the people live in cities in the United States. They get really bad food in America. In Russia, it's a little bit better. And I only say it's a little bit better because there is still so much work that Russia has to do for its food. I still see a lot of American brands, a lot of sugar, a lot of candies, a lot of brands from the United States left, but Russia made their own brands, essentially continuing on the toxicity. I don't want to offend anybody. By the way, you don't need a fishing permit in Russia. You don't need a fishing permit. I don't want to offend any Russians watching, but I say it like it is. When Coca-Cola leaves, you don't recreate a new Coca-Cola. You delete that. It is a sugary drink, has way too much sugar. You don't need that. The original drinks in Russia, like these Soviet drinks, I drink them sometimes, were much less filled with sugar and they're not even so delicious or addictive. So a lot of the things that left Russia, Russia continued. So that's why I say that products and food in Russia is only a little bit better. It still has to free itself from all of the sugars, all of the different foods that it inherited from the West. But as far as the products like tomatoes, vegetables, the vegetables and the dairy products, absolutely good. In Russia, if you buy a gallon of milk, a liter of milk, I don't know how much a gallon is. If you buy a liter of milk, it'll only last you maybe like 4 to 5 days. Okay? So in Russia, absolutely the food is much healthier. Overall, it's a little bit better because we do have Russians who live in major cities. But I live in a small town. All of my food is organic. All of my food is probably grown in this region. I'll tell you why the food is better in Russia. Siberia takes a huge portion of the Russian territory, and in Siberia, the majority of the food is seasonal. The majority of the food is seasonal. I'll say it again. Some foods you cannot get in Siberia because of the seasons. It is not the same in Moscow. In Moscow, you are getting foods that are being grown in other countries. In Siberia, that food does not get here, and we wait until the good food is grown inside of Russia, or the good food is grown in countries that Russia has deals with that is actually healthy. Okay? Hopefully that answered your question, Blaze. That is the reality that we live in. Russia also has mega cities, and those Muscovites want their artificial food. There's non-GMO stuff, but there's ways of getting around it. There's still very unhealthy stuff in Russia, and people in cities want it now, and they're gonna get it now. I'm lucky to live in Siberia where we don't have that problem as much. Some viewers who are watching probably from east of the Urals, they can probably correct me if they want, but we don't have the same ability to poison ourselves here. So Sushi, you getting ready? Yes. Nice. Sushi is my wife, Ksenia. She's getting ready. We are going to go out and show you the Lake Baikal. You're going to get to see it today. And it's going to be a really good end of the live later because you're going to see what a lot of people try to hide. A lot of people in the West don't want you to see the natural wonders that Russia has, don't want you to see how civilized people live here, how we have civilization so far away. Yeah, I call Ksenia Sushi because everybody calls her Ksusha. That's what people call Ksenia's. Or you can call her Ksusha. And I don't like to call her what everybody else calls her. So I just call her the sushi or sushi bowl, sushi roll, all these type of things. Thank you, Blaze. Thank you so much for asking that question. What does she call me? If I told you, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. I mean, obviously she calls me babe, obviously, but what I hear mostly is really, really funny. No. She doesn't give me a nickname like what you would think. She calls me something American. I'll tell you guys, she calls me, if she doesn't call me babe, I'm usually saying bad things or I'm acting bad. She goes, hey, fucker. Hey, fucker. She's crazy, man. She's like, hey, fucker. She talks like a real American, man. She talks like a American from Southern California, man. Like, Ksenia's accent is so American, like Mexican American. It's freaking hilarious. She's like, if you guys have never heard a Russian Mexican, that's like our babies are gonna be Russian Mexicans to the max. But she even says it with the Mexican American accent. She'll be like, hey, fucker. You guys understand what I'm saying, right? Anybody who's from the United States will know that Americans from California, Mexican Americans, even like 10th generation Mexican Americans will have an accent and they do this, what, hey, fucker, and she does it. I don't know if it's me who rubbed off on her, but that's her favorite word for me. So whoever asked that question, I don't even know who asked that. You just got something out of me that I have never admitted out of embarrassment. But you get what you ask for. Let's see. Yeah, so we are now 125 minutes in. Hello, my friends. If you are just joining us, we went over the call between Vladimir Putin and President Trump. These are the presidents of Russia and the United States. Do you watch movies dubbed or original? We sometimes watch movies in Russian, not very common, and we usually watch the originals. Here in Russia, all us Ruskies, we know how to watch movies, the original ones. I actually learned from one of my friends, like, to be honest, watching movies in Russia is hilarious. Any movie you see in the United States or in Europe, we watch for free in Russia. And we can watch them in whatever language we want. Usually they're dubbed and original at least. So yeah. We're just waiting for the sushi to be ready. And I'll give you guys a drive in Russia. Today, no, not VK. Here we have a question. What do you think about the possible trade deal between the United States and Russia after the war is done? So look, Russia and the United States are absolutely, geopolitically wise and geographically wise, the best partners in the world. They would make the best partners in the world. Russia is a really, really, really well-placed geographical country. The United States is a really, really, really good geopolitical country. It has a big sphere of influence. Now, Russia has the Eastern Hemisphere under its influence. The United States has the Western Hemisphere. So both of them together, working together, would be a really, 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 really good partnership, guys. I don't believe that there's a worse partnership. I mean, I don't believe there's a better partnership than the America and Russia. Those two countries would rule the world. Absolutely rule the world. And I think that's what the rest of the world is scared of. I think that the world has always been scared of Russia and America being good friends. And that is why the little Chihuahua Europeans are not liking this relationship. It really is an insane union. I don't know. So Russia is in a way better standing than Russia. It doesn't need to trust the United States. Russia has to play the big brother in this deal. So look, listen to what I'm saying. For so many years, the United States has been patting Russia on the head. Russia has to do the opposite now. Whatever deals it makes, it has to be the big brother and pat the rest of the world on top of the head. And I think it behooves of the United States, it benefits the United States if it can be friends with Russia. Russia has never been in any sort of danger from the West. And I'll tell you why. Because of its people and its geography. Russia is the hardest level to pass. If Russia was a difficulty level on a game, it would be impossible. If Russia was a difficulty level on a game, it would be impossible. Russia has the ability to come up on top as a great victory on this conflict. That is why this title is called Russian Victory. If you look at this live, what you're looking at is Putin and Trump ceasefire talks. Russian victory? Yes. I'm watching the when I make these lives, usually the channel goes on a subscriber losing streak. I feel like, and I'm really happy about it. I feel like a lot of people at the beginning of this channel subscribe to it to hate on this channel, like negative people against Russia. And when I make these lives, it stays on their feed so long that they unsubscribe, and it's really, really good. Eric, thank you so much for joining us. All is good, my friend. I'm gonna get ready here. I'm gonna change clothes. I'm gonna get ready to take you guys out into the real world. You're gonna see Russia, Siberia, what it looks like today on Wednesday afternoon, okay? Because we are, in fact, already in the afternoon now. So I'm gonna get ready. We are gonna be recording a video outside in Lake Baikal. So I'm gonna be watching and talking, answering questions while we do this. Yo, Vaughn, welcome, my friend. Yeah, everybody should take a bathroom break. Blaze says, would you say Putin has shown his grace on the Ukrainian people by not showing full military force? Yeah, Blaze, you came in late to the live, but I told everyone that if Israel could flatten Gaza, Russia could have flattened all of Ukraine, but it didn't. Okay, it could have flattened entire cities instead of fighting a military. They could have bombed Ukraine. So yeah, you came in late, but that's something that I mentioned, and I wanted to pinpoint by giving the example. If a puny little country like Israel can flatten a city, Russia could do that times 100-fold, right? So Russia has been very restrained. Russia has been very respectful for human life, and Russia has been very, very honorable in this, in a sense, right? Will Russia leave China? No, no. Russia has borders with China. Russia couldn't leave China even if it wanted to. Geographically, China and Russia share a giant border, and strategically, China needs Russia. Strategically, China needs all of the resources from Russia. And Russia needs China to be a consumer of Russian resources, okay? That's how it works. Russia can play both sides. Russia can work with China, and Russia can work with the United States. Take it easy, bro. So what we're doing now, what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna get ready for going outside. I'm going to Lake Baikal, and we're gonna be recording a video out there. So you guys are gonna see the world as it is right now. What do you think about that gas tunnel move in Kursk? I think that it was a brilliant move. It is something that I've been talking about on my military analysis. I've mentioned engineers working like this a long time ago. Tunneling has been used in warfare in a long time. Armies used to tunnel under castle walls. Enemies used to tunnel under enemy lines. And guess what? It happened again, but this way. This time they used already existing pipe. So this is a sapper thing. I am a combat engineer. In Afghanistan, we used to look for the damn Taliban in tunnels. We used to go into trenches and stuff, a lot of tunnel networks that the Taliban had. So tunneling is actually a very, very good and effective form of military tactics. It was used in Vietnam very, very well. So the pipes and the tunnels in Ukraine have been exploited to very, very good military outcomes by the Russian forces. This is something that they should be doing a long time ago. Sappers lead the way. So we're just getting more of the equipment. If you're still on this live, guys, thank you so much. The few that stay, you're gonna see Russia a Russian town. You're gonna get to see what the spirit and the soul of Russia is. It is because of towns like mine that Moscow exists, that St. Petersburg exists. Siberia feeds Russia, guys. This is the real Russia. Moscow, St. Petersburg, all the stuff west of the Urals is fed by the resources of the vastness of Siberia. The coal, the lumber, the oil, the gas, the population, all of that comes from Siberia. A lot of young men and women learn in Siberia and they go work towards the west. So I have a huge respect for Siberia. And if you want to visit, again, I invite you guys to Irkutsk Oblast. This region is magical. So we have our backpack here. And we have a bunch of equipment that we're going to be using outside for this live. Soldiers involved in the tunnel operation are getting tattoos to celebrate. Yeah, this is a very common thing for all militaries. And it's really cool that those soldiers are doing that. I know some guys in my unit, they stole some watermelons from the Taliban fields, and we ended up going to like some battles because the Taliban don't like getting their fruit stolen. And they tattooed Operation Watermelon on their body. And yeah, so military do a lot of things. For instance, let me show you. I have this brand here for something about the war. I don't really talk about it a lot, but military traditions merit tattoos and brands for special operations or things to remember things for. I have a brand that I got in the Afghanistan war for a certain event. So these guys who are going to get the tattoos for the tunnel, that tattoo is going to mean the world to them, man. It's going to be incredible. How long will it take for me to be streaming? I'm going to be streaming for about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes more, guys. Maybe less, but we're going to be driving to the lake. I'm going to show you some things. Yeah, I'm just going to be streaming as long as possible. Sushi, can you put the light in this backpack, please? The light and the bucket for the water. Yeah, we're just getting ready, guys. Any more questions? It could be militarily, it can be about Russia, anything at all. We have been streaming now for almost 140 minutes. I appreciate all of the support. All of the donations go back into the channel to pay for the bill of the light and the phone bill. Because of viewers like you, we have the lights on here in Siberia. That's a joke. Babe, can you please put the light that we got from your father's and in there, please?
And that's it?
Yes. And how long more do you think?
What, how long more?
Until we go for you.
Soon, I'm dressing right now.
Never rush a woman when they're getting ready. No permit for fishing. What about hunting? So hunting, you can hunt if you are paying for an excursion, I believe. But you cannot go hunting because you cannot legally hold a weapon if you're not a Russian citizen. Since Trump took office, how have Russian people taken to the new presidency? I feel that Russian people absolutely see it as a plus. They trust President Trump more than they trust President Biden. They experienced 3 years of warmongering through President Biden, and President Trump was really good friends with President Putin back in the day. Very positive compared to how things were before. No, I'm not using, no, I'm not going to lose this stream. Everything's going to be fine. Have you encountered bears in Irkutsk or near Lake Baikal? I haven't personally, but bears have come to our town. There's also been bears in the road that comes into the town, and there's been bears inside of town. They frequent this area, but they stay away, man. this area is polluted with bears, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm just like it's inhabited by bears, but they try to stay away. Okay. Do you still go to Horseshoe Lake by the railway? Yes, I do, and I put fish there last year. I'm gonna continue to stock it with fish and see if I can one day fish for my own fish private lake. I don't know. I don't think Lake Baikal was ancient mining, guys. What do you think about America will do after Trump since he can't have a third term? I don't think that America. Listen. Oh, by the way, my finger healed. I don't think that America is going to have any problems for the next presidency. I think it's going to have problems for the one that comes after the one that comes after Trump. So just remember that. There is no world where things can be worse than they were with President Biden, guys. We were really close to ending the world through his lunacy. You will not see a president that bad in a long time. I just don't see it. How are you dealing with YouTube blocking? There is no YouTube blocking. There's YouTube slowing. Okay, a lot of YouTubers just try to make money off of you guys from Russia and said, oh, it's blocked, it's blocked. No, YouTube was slowed down in Russia. Okay, a lot of YouTubers lied about this. I know a lot of them lied about this. But I told you guys from the beginning that it was slowed. Let's see, any other questions? What's the beer like there? Okay, the beer here, Ptolemy, you asked about the beer. I would say I don't really know what the really good beer is here. I recently went to visit my friend. He showed me, I think it was a Chinese one. And I was like surprised. We drank one and it was really good. But the beer in Russia they're not known for their beer. I think I prefer more like Samagon, which is a moonshine of Russia. The moonshine, like the natural vodka that the Russians make. I prefer vodka. Moonshine vodka, but I don't really like to drink. Okay, I don't encourage drinking. Bow hunting, you can bow hunt if you have the right permits. I don't have the right permits. That is right. There is no monetization for people. No, what are you talking about? Okay, I'm gonna tell you how it works. Okay, there is monetization in Russia. Again, another lie that a lot of YouTubers that you guys watch from Russia are liars. You can be monetized in Russia, okay? What's not monetized is the views coming from Russia. But a lot of these channels have Western viewers anyways. What they're not monetizing, and it's not only Russia, guys. There's Mongolia you can't monetize, Albania you can't monetize. I think there's a lot of countries that don't let you monetize. This is not something new. So when a lot of these YouTubers talk about no monetization, it's a bunch of BS. And if you ever see a video like that, you can call them out on their BS. Russian views are banned, are not monetized. Channels from Russia are monetized. It's not a problem. So, a bit off topic, but JFK files were dropped today. Did you catch that, or do you? Yes, they were dropped, but I don't think it's gonna change the perception that everybody knew. Like we all knew. Anybody with something in between their ears could have said no, it wasn't Oswald, because he got shot immediately after. He never even got put on trial. Everybody knows that was an inside job. Who cares who actually did it if we don't trust the word that happened before? It doesn't change anything. I'll buy beers for you and drink them too. Nice. Guys, in America, we know we're like sheep. You know, we still believe in Santa Claus in America. That's the best way I can describe to you how we trust our government. So if they give us the truth, if they give us the files, are those files written by men from the government? Yes. So it's essentially giving you whatever version they want to give you anyways. Lars is monetized. Lars is monetized. And you should support Lars from over there on Survival Russia. He's a great friend. He's a good guy. He's monetized. You should support his channel. He's the original content creator from Russia. All these other channels we're all second to Lars. Lars is the original Russian content creator. That guy really did a lot for the community, and everybody should be supporting Lars. So I'm gonna put on my clothes. I'm gonna change. Give me 2 minutes, and then you're gonna be getting ready to go outside, guys. We are going out into town. You are gonna get to see the lake if you wanted to see it. So. All right. Okay. Hello, friends. If you're just joining, we are live from Russia. We went over the call between the presidents of Russia and the United States. But now it's time to go outside. Yeah, but what I mean by that is like the United States believes in the tooth fairy, like it treats its citizens like that. Like it tells its citizens, hey, don't worry, Santa's real, the tooth fairy is real. And it just builds a fake reality for them. So if they release the JFK files, it's releasing files that were written by normal men who wanted to lie to the people. So I don't trust that. The truth, it comes out. The truth is really simple. We don't, it's not a difficult thing to go, you should never go against your feelings, right? If you see something that's wrong and you're like, wait a minute, something's not adding up, it's usually whatever you're feeling, guys. And the majority of the things in the United States is that. So let's unplug this. All right. Now, if you stay with me, we will be going again outside. Let me just get this and get off the Wi-Fi. Oh, actually, I have to go to the bathroom. Darn it, I have to take a bathroom break. Guys, take a bathroom break. I gotta take one. All right. What happened?
If you come home, if you go out,
Here we go, guys. We are going out. I gave a tour of our apartment before, but this countertop, it didn't exist, guys. That countertop I put with Ksenia, and we did a lot of work in this apartment. If you like that kind of videos, we uploaded that already. The banking system here is amazing. Are we still live? Can you hear me? Before we go on, let me know if we're still live. How's the sound and how's the view? It's really muddy because everything's melting. Okay, guys, just give me a second. Let me get in.
it's really warm today.
Yep. Ksenia says it's really warm today. She's on the live now, guys.
It's +8.
Plus 8 degrees.
Yeah.
So we're outside. We're gonna take you guys to see the lake. My wife is finally here. You can see she's wearing her little bear hat. Babe, they asked me what you call me, and then I said, you call me fucker.
Not all the time. It's our home name.
You see, it's our home name. You see, guys, for anybody who was here during the segment,
It's our own language, you know.
yeah. For anybody who was wondering what she calls me, and when I said she says fucker to me, there it is. There's the woman who.
Babe.
Huh?
I call you usually babe.
Yeah, I told them that. I said usually you call me babe, but
Yeah.
the second thing that you call me the most is fucker. Yeah. Ksusha, привет. Is Shelechova. No! Shelechov, hello. You see, guys, I can read Russian a little bit. A lot of people asked If I speak Russian, I just read that and I know he's from Shelekhov. You can say something in Russian to him.
Как у вас погода в Шелихове? Должно быть теплее, чем даже у нас.
Can you hear Ksenia?
I will try. Talk loud.
Well, we'll see. All right, guys, here we go. I'll keep the view like this for now, and then we'll see what happens. We have really warm. It says +2 is actually the weather.
Oh wow! It means it's warmer here.
Yeah, it's always warmer here.
No, but we have Baikal. Baikal, can you give more cold? That's why I thought they more warm.
People are saying hi, Ksenia.
Hi everyone.
You want to tell them something about your braces and stuff?
I didn't have nothing to say to about my braces. I just leave with that. It's fine.
Yeah, if you don't know, Ksenia recently got braces. We made a video on that. So if you guys are members, you guys can give the Putin loves emoji with 2 thumbs up for Ksenia's braces. It's freaking hilarious. You know what? I'm gonna make an emoji out of Ksenia.
Oh no.
Yeah. Guys, for all you channel members, all you people who watch this channel, who know my wife, you will in the future be able to be on the live and spam Ksenia. I just have to choose the picture. It has to be a funny one. It'll be something really nice for you guys. I think Ksenia emojis, it's gonna be one of the coolest ones.
It's like it's
Ksenia loves. Now, if I can't read your messages right now, it's because of we're on the road, and I don't want to lose the attention on the road. But I just saw somebody became a member. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Remember, every time you become a member, make sure to spam those emojis because they are hilarious. We have a special emoji for the ungrateful goblin. That one was added today for this live. And we will be adding Ksenia emoji for the next live, but you guys get to vote for one of emojis yourself. The ungrateful goblin's the best. Sushi, you want to grab it and show them how it looks?
you can try.
Yeah, but it's not the best. You can just talk with them while you show it.
The road honestly already look better because it's look more dry, and people already wearing more light jackets. Oh wow!
Whoa, that guy really risked his life. we could have got a crash on live
Go a little far.
if that guy was slower.
Whee!
We're making our way into the lake.
Yeah, it's look more dry. For 2 days, it's dry really fast. Really nice. And you can see it's no snow almost. It's crazy. Because when we made video, it was a lot of snow, but now it's more dry. Oops. Yeah, it's me. And it's him.
We're driving to Lake Baikal, guys. If you're watching, we're making our way to the lake, and I think it's an appropriate place to kind of give you our last thoughts on what happened today. For all the new channel members, I appreciate the support. It means a lot to us. Yeah.
And you guys can guess if Baikal melt already or... Oh wow.
Oh, actually, it looks like it's melting.
Because usually it's not melting this time, and I want to ask if you think what maybe it's still frozen, maybe it's already melt, but I will show you how it's look like now.
Oh wow, there's water on top.
But yesterday it was white all the way, only white.
It's absolutely wet.
Okay, this year for sure warmest year what I ever see in my life. Oh my god, I need to send it. Sorry for focus. I need to send it for my father because yesterday he fishing on Baikal. He catch fish and now turn on camera. And now it's like that.
This is a crazy event that you guys are watching, guys. What you're about to see is something that not a lot of people get to see, and not even Russians. The lake is melting already. Whoa. Look at that. This does never happen in March. And then you still have people fishing, ice fishing. Look. There's people ice fishing. There's little black dots. That's incredible. This is the largest lake in the world, guys. It was frozen and now it's starting to melt. Wow. Sushi, say hi.
I just sent photo. He will be really sad, honestly, because he fishing yesterday and I think it's done.
Do you think it's gonna freeze again, or it's just gonna start melting?
It just will melt, and Baikal really strong, and he just will break his ice.
Yeah.
If it's already started like that, he will push ice on the side, and that's it. It will be open water.
Yes, the whole lake freezes, guys. Look, the whole lake, as far as the eyes can see, it's frozen. You saw us drive here. How long did it take us? How long did it take us to get to this place? I live about 5 minutes away from the lake. I don't know, maybe it was 5 minutes. We drove from my apartment to the lake just to see it. And it's just really melting now. This is incredible. We've never seen this. It's never melted in March. Look at this, guys.
Usually like this, it's looking April. Only in middle April it can look like that. Maybe first part in April, but not in the March. Never. I never see it in my life. It's crazy. Even over there you can see crack, and it can broke ice really fast.
I think we're gonna have to go to do what I wanted to do. No, you can see the white over there.
No, it's more far. I will not go so far. It's really dangerous right now.
All right, guys. Me and the little bear are gonna sign off. Please remember to like and subscribe and support the channel by coming back for the next live. Okay, thank you so much for joining me for this one. Bye. Join the Russian experience. It is linked on top on the chat. Thank you, Mr. Wonderful. Bye bye.